Hey guys, this will be my video guide for Red Maelstrom Arena. I will try to explain all the stages wave for wave, so I also will try to explain all the mechanics step by step through each wave through the arena, so you can see what you have to expect in there. Also some general information about the arena. The Wet Maelstrom Arena is clearly favoring ranged Magicka DPS, so if you have any Magicka class, especially a Magicka Sword or a Magicka Nightblade, try to complete it with one of those two first, because it's the easiest way to complete the Maelstrom Arena. However, it is possible on all setups, stamina or Magicka based. It just gets more difficult. Then you can't get in here with a tank or healer build. You need kind of a damage healer build to succeed, because on some stages the bosses get more and more difficult the longer they live, so you want to kill stuff as fast as possible. Then when you go in the Maelstrom Arena, you will fail quite a lot. It doesn't really matter, but you kind of have to think, like, you have to understand the mechanics of each stage. If you don't understand the mechanics, like where are the mobs spawning, which mob does how much damage, or what do you have to avoid, what damage, or what damage can hit you, it doesn't matter. If you don't know these things, you will constantly keep dying. So I will really try to explain this step by step, and I will pause the video sometimes just to show you some things, and I hope you will succeed in completing the Maelstrom Arena. I guess that's it. So let's start with the stage 1. Okay guys, I will show the run on my Nightblade. It doesn't really matter on what class you do it on. Most important is that you understand the mechanics. Once you understand the mechanics, it will be more or less easy on all setups. It is also very important, like, Wet Maelstrom is not easy, so when you have your build, your skills, don't always change skills around, because every time you have to look at your skills where you put them, you kind of lose control over the situation. Because when you have to look at your skills, you can't look at the enemies. That means you will not know what they are doing or where they are. It's just a split second, but you fucking need this split second, I'm pretty sure. So really, if you have an idea for a build, then don't always change it over and over. Try it with that a little bit, so like you don't have to look at the skills at all anymore. I mean, when I'm in the arena, I don't have to look at my bars at all, because I know where each of the skills is. Like when I have to press number 1 or number 2 or number 5 for Vigor, I know I don't have to search the skill in my skill bar to see, oh, it's on number 5 and I can press it. If you have to do that, you have already lost. Also, as you know, there is sigils in the arena. I mean, I don't know why, but many people try not to use those sigils. But if you don't really give a flying fuck about the leaderboards or your score at all at the start, just use them, especially the defensive sigil, the shield one. It is very effective against ranged enemies, because it reflects all the attacks back to them. So basically you can ignore all the ranged attacks for 30 seconds. Also, if you have trouble with DPS, take the sword. It increases your DPS for quite a lot. If you have trouble with healing, get the healing sigil. Take this one. And if you have movement issues, take the speed sigil, and you will also have an easier time to kite enemies. So really, don't be afraid to use the sigils if you don't fucking care about your score. If you do care, it's another thing, but first you want to get through this shitty arena, so just use those damn sigils. So on stage 1 there is never a lot of mobs spawning at the same time, but you still have to be aware because the mobs, if it's a mage or an archer or a melee, it doesn't really matter, they all hit like trucks. You can try to avoid damage by kiting mobs, circling around them so they have a harder time hitting you, or dodge rolling if you have enough stamina. You will notice now on stage 1 the spawn points of the mobs are quite far away, so I always stay next to one portal, so as soon as the mobs spawn I can nuke one of the mobs. That means I already have to deal with one mob less during the round, so I can kill the one on the portal fast and then move to the next one. Okay, now you see this Deadroff, he really looks pissed off. So this dude has a Fire Breath AoE attack. Make sure to stand not in front of him. Once he starts doing his Fire Breath, he will be locked in the position, so he doesn't follow the Fire Breath doesn't follow you. So you just can stand a little bit to the left or right to avoid the fire attack, and then kill him quite fast because he doesn't have a lot of HP. Now you see, as soon as I have time, I rebuff myself with certain buffs I need, and I try to put AoE effects that I can put on the ground before the mob spawn as soon as possible, so I don't waste time dropping dots on the enemy that I could have dropped on the ground before they even spawn, like Calp Drops or Arrow Barrage or Refreshing Puff or like Eruption from the DK. So now you see in the far back there is a skeleton spawning, and next to me there is an archer. Make sure to kill the archer as fast as possible, and after you have killed the archer you can focus the skeleton dude, so you don't really have to be afraid of arrows that get shot in your back. I know I'm going to the skeleton first, but it's better to kill the archer first and then the skeleton. So now the boss fight of the round. As you can see, I already dropped my dots before the fight starts, like when the boss spawns. So I can start right away with DPSing. Also make sure, try to avoid this shitty red, like I don't know, this ball circle ghosty shit on the ground. It will slow you down. It deals a little bit of damage, but more annoying is it will slow you down. So the boss has its phases where he doesn't deal any damage. When he doesn't deal any damage, that means he will spawn mobs, like this minion of his that breathes fire. So once the mob spawns, the mob is spawned, the boss will start dealing damage again, and his attacks, he has this small ball shooting at you. It deals quite a lot of damage, so if you get hit by the ball and this small mob attacks at the same time, it will almost drop you to 0 HP, more or less. So either make sure to avoid the damage or be ready with a shield or heal yourself, etc. Also, you don't really need to focus this small ad. Make sure to drop your ulti a little bit before the mob spawns and reapply your dots, and then it will die quite fast. You will see it doesn't have a lot of HP. Then the next step is the boss will port away from his earlier location and then get into a like spawn mechanic again, so he will deal no damage to you. If the first ad is still alive, it's best to kill it before you start damaging the boss again, but as I said, it should be dead already. So here, same procedure again. Try to kill the small ad before or kite it. Like if you're ranged, maybe you can ignore it, because if you kite it, it will not damage you because he only has melee attacks, so you can focus the boss. Or just drop all your dots on the ground and then it should die more or less alone. So you can keep DPSing the boss. Now you also see he spawned this red AoE on the ground with the star in it. If you stand in there, it will root you. So you kind of have to dodge roll out of it if you want to free yourself. But if you always circle the boss, it will not hit you. You can avoid it easily. Last but not least, if you do not kill the ads that the boss spawns, he will, when he starts doing his cast thing, he will start absorbing the mobs and will heal himself. So at some point you have to make sure to kill the ads if they are not dead from your AoE. You will get the feeling when that point is pretty fast, I guess. So now you see, like, I killed the boss quite fast, but in most cases he will teleport again and repeat the whole situation. So the catch here is, the longer the boss is alive, the more ads will spawn. So after the second time he teleports, you want to make sure he's dead. If he's not dead by then, you don't have enough DPS. So just repeat what you did and try to be faster again. Because it's not really a DPS race here, but it gets more and more difficult because you will have more ads spawning. Okay, stage 2 is kind of a pain in the ass, mainly because of the blades that are circling around and always hit you. When they hit you, they will put a bleed dot on you, and you have to be aware this. Not many people know that, but the bleeding dot, it stacks. So if you do not stop the bleeding at some point, the damage the dot does on you will be so high that you can't out heal it anymore. Which means you have to pull the levers, the green levers, basically after every round if you want to be safe. And then the blade stands still for like 10 seconds and the dot is usually 8 seconds, so it can wear off. Also, you can bolster the damage with Harness Magicka or any shield. Even Harness Magicka works because for some strange fucked up reason Zenimax decided to make it magic damage apparently. So now here you see two mobs. The one on the right side, it doesn't really direct attack you, but it has this shock AoE that travels well at a medium speed to you, and it deals quite a lot of damage. So if you have the time, prioritize those mobs. They're dead very fast, like 1-2 hits, and they die. They almost have 0 HP, so it's easy to kill them. Then the mob on the left side, also it doesn't really have a lot of HP, but try to kill it as fast as possible, because when this mob is alive for too long, it will go into a charge mode. It will do a protection bubble around him and glow blue. And then if there are any other mobs alive, the mobs can charge up their power and will do like 4 times the damage as usual. So you really should kill this mob as fast as possible. Now you saw I pressed the lever and the blade stopped moving. So now you have to avoid the blades for like 8 or 9 seconds so the bleed dot can wear off. Also here in the middle you can see this shock field. Do not go there, because when you walk inside that you will get knocked backwards and it does a lot of damage, and probably you will get hit by a blade too and you will most likely die. So don't go near that shock field. So this small Centurion, he has 2 AoE attacks, the steam that comes out of like his chest. You will not see a red AoE on the ground, so you have to watch out for the steam. But usually he does this AoE where he turns around, makes a 360, but there you will have the red AoE on the ground. So really make sure to avoid those 2 attacks. While he is doing those attacks, he will not attack you, so you just can move out of the AoE and then simply damage him as much as possible. Just be aware, he also does a light attack or kind of a heavy attack. It takes him like 1 second to charge his arm and then he will hit you with it. And it takes away like 70% of your HP. So really either block it, but better just dodge roll it. As I said, he doesn't do it a lot. He usually goes into these AoE things which are easy to avoid. But if he does that and you get hit from the heavy or the light attack together with a blade or a bleeding dot, it is very likely that you die. Okay, now you see this new mob. It has kind of a ranged attack. It shoots arrows at you or bolts or whatever. Does medic or damage. However, more annoying attack is like he charges his crossbow up and then shoots a ground-based AoE at you. You will not see any red AoE on the ground coming to you, so the only indication you see is kind of dust that pops up on the ground. It's almost impossible to see. So whenever you go to the mob, don't run straight to it. Try to go to it with a little bit in a cone, you know, so the shit doesn't hit you. If you get hit by this ground AoE from the mob and a bleeding dot, it is very likely that you die again. You will see as soon as you saw it once. Also, sometimes he jumps up and drops down again and does this AoE stomp. It doesn't like it is very small, so it is easy to avoid. If you don't avoid it, it also deals a lot of damage. Now here you see there is one of the small centurions spawning and two little spiders. First off, focus the two spiders, and after those two spiders are dead, attack the centurion. Like the centurion is very slow, so you can wait at the spawn place of one of the spiders and then run to the other spider, and most likely the centurion will not be able to follow you. We are doing this because when we focus the centurion first and he hits us with an AoE, plus you have the bleeding dot on and one of the spider hits us, we are very, very dead. So very simple, kill the two spiders first and then the centurion. Same thing here, you will have two small mobs and a centurion. Make sure to kill the small mobs first, and after they are dead, they have very low HP, so it's 1-2 hits and they're dead. After that, focus the centurion. Now you saw I blocked his attack with his hand. It does, when you block it, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but the problem you have is as soon as you block, you have 0 stamina recovery, which is really retarded, but it is better to dodge roll in this case, but block also works. It's just if you already have low stamina and you block, you will drop to 0 stamina recovery, which is quite a pain in the ass. Okay, this boss fight, it's not really difficult, but it's a little bit annoying because of the rotating blades with their shitty bleed dot. So now what will happen, at first there is only one centurion and then there will always spawn another one, and in the end you will have 3 Centurions. Okay, let's see, let's move on. And you see right away he starts charging his light or heavy attack, whatever you call it, and I just dodge roll it. It's really easy to avoid because it's so slow. Okay, now you see I dropped him quite a lot. He put on his shield so you can't damage him anymore. Also, be aware, don't stand close to the shield because it will damage you, kind of shock damage it will hit you with. So now he goes into the shield mode and second Centurion spawned, and I go over to the second Centurion and repeat basically the same what I did before. Usually when the Centurion spawns, he does these shock attacks, like he shoots those lightning bolts into the air and they will drop down on the ground. Try to avoid them because they deal a ton of damage. Now the last Centurion spawned and it's basically the same thing as before. Avoid his AoE attacks, dodge all his light attacks and just damage him till he pops his shield. When he pops his shield, the first Centurion will stand up again and start attacking you. Now, if you're too slow, then it is possible that 2 or all 3 Centurions will be out of their shield and attack you at the same time. So really, you need to have enough damage, otherwise the fight gets really difficult if you have to deal with all 3 Centurions. Also, another thing, like when the bleeding dot gets too strong, you can activate the levers, but be aware, when you activate the levers, the Centurion will go into the middle and kind of recharge himself, healing his HP. So yeah, the fight will go longer. But if you're fast enough, you shouldn't really have an issue with the bleeding dot if you resetted it before the boss fight. Also, the mobs always spawn at 3 points, always at the same spot. So make sure when one of the mobs spawns, just stand next to the portal so you can start damaging the mob right away. And even before the other 2 mobs from the 2 spawn places that are a little bit further away hit you, the first one will already be dead, so you only have to deal with 2 of those mobs anymore. Here, very important, there is those 3 small islands and there is water around. Make sure not to stand in the water because at some point it gets electrified, and every time you step in the water it deals a shit ton of damage and you really want to avoid that. If you get hit by a mob and with this shock in the water, you're most likely dead. Now here you see 2 mobs, one on the right side. this dude on the right side is mainly a melee, but he sometimes throws this dagger at you. It is best that you either block it or dodge roll it, because it deals insane damage. He doesn't have a lot of HP, so he should be dead quite fast. Also, the mob on the left side, it's a ranged mob. It throws these darts at you. They also deal a lot of damage. So either block them, or like you can take one of those attacks into the face, but I wouldn't take both, because if something else hits you, you're most likely dead. But they both don't have a lot of HP, so they die pretty fast. Okay, here you see this green AoE on the ground. Like when the mobs stand in there, they will get healed. However, the heal is very low, so you kind of can ignore it. But if you want, you also can try to get the mob out of it. But yeah, usually the mob dies anyway. Then here on the left side you can see these lightning strikes that are coming from the air. Like this enemy AoE is very small, but you really want to avoid it because it deals quite a lot of damage. Okay, here you see the red AoE on the ground. It's kind of poison damage. Don't stand in it because it deals quite a lot of damage. Then you see on the left side there is this green Lamia. This one is different from the first one. The first one was red. So now the red Lamias, they are mainly ranged. They throw those darts. And this green one is a melee dude. He hits you with his hands. He also has quite a nasty AoE attack, similar to the ones from the Dwemer automatons. You can almost not see it, and it's just some dust that comes up on the ground. So whenever you run to this green Lamia, make sure not to go straight to it, because when his AoE attack knocks you back and another mob hits you, you're most likely dead. So make sure to go kind of in a circular way to the mob. After some time you might know the animation, how it looks like, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue anymore. Then we see the snake. The snakes also deal quite a lot of melee damage. Then they also, like when they embrace themselves, kind of, they are healing themselves, so make sure to bash those mobs. So otherwise they will be at full health in no time. They also have a cone attack, but it's easy avoidable, you will see. Now here you see this mage. It is not really dangerous, it just does mainly light attacks and this shitty glow bubble that gets you stuck on the ground, but like most of the mobs in this stage, it doesn't have a lot of health, so just make sure to kill it as fast as possible. So this is kind of the final round of the first wave. So basically you get two of those mages, a melee dude and then this big Wamasu monster. What I usually do here is I kill off the mages first, then the melee dude and then the Wamasu. Also try to kite the Wamasu because he deals quite a lot of damage and you really don't want to stand in his AoE attacks. But let's see. Another thing, you see there is quite a lot of stuff going on. The enemy healing circle on the ground, and then there is the enemy poison AoE on the ground. It's a lot of stuff going on that you need to be aware of. Okay, now this is one of the Wamasu's AoE attacks. He hits you with his tail. As you can see, I will get hit by it, and you see how it drains my HP almost to half, so you really want to avoid that. You can dodge roll it if you want, but usually it takes him a while to charge attack up, so it's easy avoidable. Same thing here, the Wamazu again. It's kind of a cone shock breath attack. If you take the damage into your face, you will most likely die unless you have shields or like some high damage mitigation up. But again, it's really easy avoidable because he doesn't turn around, etc., and it's very small, so you just can walk out of it easily. Okay, the most annoying thing in this stage, those stranglers, like they already spawned before, like they kind of spawn randomly from time to time, always on one of the islands in the water. You will notice they have a spit attack and it will put a snare on you, so whenever you get slowed down, you know there is a strangler shooting his poison snare darts at you. They don't have a lot of health, so make sure to kill them fast. It's really like, if you watch out a little bit, you will see them easily, and they're dead really fast because very, very low HP. Again, here you see enemy poison damage on the ground, enemy healing circle on the ground, water charged with shock. There is so much stuff you have to be aware of, so just make sure to be in movement most of the times. Like if there's too much shit enemy AoE on the ground, just move to another island. At the back you can see there is two portals spawning. I already know that the one further in the back is a new strangler, so you can kind of see it like this. If there's two more spawning, one more like in the water, it's most likely a new strangler. Now this is the last round of the second wave, I think, yeah. Here you see 3 Lamias and 1 Stem Sorc. Zenimax really loves their Stem Sorcs NPCs, I guess. Anyway, make sure to kill off the Lamias first. And when you're done with the Lamias, you want to deal with the shock dude. Let's see. Okay, like this dude is not really dangerous at all alone, so that's why we want to kill off the other mobs first. So now he doesn't have a lot of attacks. He has this shock AoE. He charges up, so it's really easy to avoid. Like it takes him like 1 second or even more to charge it up and then to release it. Then another thing, he has a wrecking blow attack, but as you know, it's like 1 second and you can either dodge roll it or block it. This mob, when it's alone, it's not dangerous at all. Okay, last round of the third wave, if I remember correctly. This one is a little bit tricky and luck based. So now here 2 Lamias will spawn and 1 mage and a witch. So make sure to kill off the Lamias first and then the mage. Basically just kill the small mobs first and then the big mob. Okay, let's see. Sometimes there is a weird bug going on that the witch, already you're out of range, it pulls you, kind of like the old Strangler's attack, and you're unable to do anything, and if probably the free range mobs will hit you and you're dead. But it doesn't happen that often. So you saw, this pull is nasty as fuck. You get pulled to the mob, and in the same second the fucking shock attack from the water hits you, you can do nothing about that. Now, if you're a Zork or any Magicka dude, you have healing ward that protects your ass. But for stamina, this shit, it's really annoying. If 1 or 2 of the ranged mobs hit you at the same time, you're fucking dead. It's just retarded. Another thing you have to be aware of, the witch. You see this black beam that goes from her to me? It's kind of a drain attack, so make sure to interrupt bash the witch, then it will stop. You also can see that her light attacks deal insane amount of damage, which means if you get hit by maybe from the lightning strike or the poison damage from the enemy and the attack, your HP will be very low, or you might be also dead. So really, you can try to block it or dodge roll it. Just make sure to have some healing effect on yourself. So now the boss phase. The boss light attack deal insane damage. So really, when you're in melee range, you want to have a healing effect on yourself or some shield. If you have the possibility to kite the mob, then kite it. The reason here I don't take a lot of that, well, not a lot, it's still like one hit is 25% of my shitty HP. I have Veil of Blades on the ground, 30% damage reduction, and the Shadow Image, another 15% damage reduction. So I have a total of 45% damage reduction. And he still hits quite hard. So now you see the boss, he's kind of charging up his hands and throwing lightning strikes at you. During this time he will not light attack you, so the red AoE is really easy avoidable, so that's your time where you can damage the boss. Okay, once you drop the boss to 75%, there will be 2 mobs spawning, a mage and a melee dude that sometimes throws his daggers. And you also can see the boss, he does his screaming attack, this cone AoE. If you stand in that, you will get stunned and you have to break free. And if the 2 other mobs hit you during that time, you're most likely dead. So now here, you want to kill those small ads as fast as possible, because when the boss hits you with his light attacks plus the 2 mobs, you're dead. You see, I'm almost avoiding most of the attacks because like I have enough stamina to dodge roll. If you're a ranged build, then just try to kite as much as possible. Then another thing, again, those stranglers that spawn throughout all of the stage 3, try to kill them as fast as possible because the snare they put on you is very annoying and it can kill you. At 50% of boss HP you will have one mob spawning, this snake. Just kill it as fast as possible and make sure it doesn't heal himself, and then after it's dead you can focus on the boss again. At 25% of boss HP there will be 2 more ads spawning, namely 2 lamias. So now what you can try is, there is different ways to do this, like if you care for score, just kill those 2 ads first and then focus the boss again. If you're unsure what to do, just take the defensive sigils, because then most of the attacks get reflected and you just can focus on the boss and kill him off. Again, this round is crazy, there's so much stuff going on. Lightning strikes from the air, poison damage, enemy healing, AoE effect, and like shock in the water and all that stuff. So if you're doing this the first time, or like you just want to get through the arena, don't be afraid to take sigils. They make your life a lot easier. Okay, stage 4. Once you know stage 4, it is not really difficult, but if you do not know all the mechanics, it's quite difficult at the start. Let's see. This mob is not really hard, like he does wrecking blow, but it's easy avoidable, and he does not have a lot of HP, so you can kill him really fast. And you see again, I stood right next to the portal, so I can start damaging him right away. So even before other mobs are at my place, that dude is already dead. Then we have this mage. He also doesn't have a lot of HP and he will die pretty quickly. Just make sure, like, his light attacks, they don't do a lot of damage, but if you have 2-3 of those mages light attacking you, it takes away quite a lot of your HP. So try to avoid it or just kill him really fast. And he has this fire AoE, as you can see he's charging it right now. Just don't walk into it, it's easy avoidable. You also saw the mages, they sometimes heal themselves, so just interrupt it or make sure that he's dead before he has the possibility to heal himself. Now you see there, this small, I don't know, Dwemer ball or whatever you want to call it. They spawn from time to time during all the rounds on this stage 4. make sure to kill them. Like, they spawn on the outer side and they always go somewhere into the middle, and then it takes them like 3 to 5 seconds to charge up, and when you haven't killed them by then, they will get a massive shield, like 70k shield, and it is a pain in the ass to kill that dude. The reason why you need to kill him is once he's set up there, he starts shooting those lightning strikes or lightning fields at you. They don't deal a lot of damage, but if you get hit by 2 or 3 and some other mobs, you're very dead. So really, make sure to kill them. If one gets a shield up, just like drop your AoE stuff there or some of your dots, and then it will take him, like it will take the shield away. And yeah, it doesn't have a lot of health, so basically 1 or 2 hits and it should be dead. It's really most difficult is that you have to be aware where they spawn, because they're really sneaky. You see one of those Dwemer balls is trying to get again into the middle to set himself up, but it dies so fast. And now this is the last mob on this round. It's a kind of a mage. He does light attacks and he does those fire AoE things on the ground. He's not really dangerous, but if you can, try to avoid his attacks and just DPS him down really quickly. So now we have those big Dwemer mobs again. They shoot darts at you. It deals the damage is not too high, but if you get hit from 2 or 3 of the same at the same time, you're gonna most likely die. Also, when you are very close to them, they do kind of a ground stomp, so make sure not to be in their AoE. And they have a big shock AoE attack, so they usually charge up and then a big shockwave is coming to you. You really want to avoid that, because it when you get hit, it deals insane damage and it stuns you at the same time. So it's, if something else hits you at the same time, you're dead most likely. So you really want to try to avoid that. Then we have the little Dwemer spiders again. Like, they're not really dangerous, but if they are, like, one doesn't deal a lot of damage, but later on 2, 3 or 4 at the same time they spawn, and if they all hit you, it's pretty heavy damage. Also, make sure to kill those Dwemer spiders fast, because again, they can set themselves up with a blue protection shield, and then other mobs will go charge themselves up there, and then they deal kind of enrage damage, and basically even light attacks can almost one-shot you. So really make sure, if one of those Dwemer spiders sets up this blue bubble field around himself, make sure to kill him really fast. So the previous round we had this fire mage, now it's a shock mage. Here you have to be careful, he does this shock AoE, like he ports to you, charges AoE and then releases a shockwave on the ground, which will knock you down, so try to avoid it and make sure to kill the other mages, the small mages that heal themselves first. because you don't want them to heal this bigger mage. Now you see I wasn't careful enough and one of those Dwemer balls set up his shield, and it's huge, so it's really annoying. I really should have been more careful. So now you see the mob on the right side, this shockwave AoE that like he launches a shockwave on the ground, and if you stand in there you get knocked over and it deals quite a lot of damage, and if you get hit by something else you're dead. So you see it takes him like 1 to 2 seconds to charge up, so it is easy avoidable. Okay, now you saw the Dwemer dude there. He shot his this shockwave at you. If it hits you, it deals insane damage and it stuns you. And you see there's two of those Dwemer dudes, and yeah, if both do that and both hit you, or like if you get hit by one of those and the other dude does a light attack, you're almost on 0 health. So you really want to avoid those. Luckily they don't move super fast, so you have, if he shoots it directly at you, you have time to avoid it. Now you see it's a lot of mobs, and I basically have to run away. I have to kite them around, because if all hit me at the same time I'm most likely dead, so I really have to try to kite them and deal damage at the same time. Okay, that is this field bubble I talked earlier about. If like the other Dwemer guys can charge their energy up on this, and then they will get this enrage damage. Also the mob, like after 5 seconds, will be finished charging, and then they deal a shit ton of damage. So you really have to make sure to kill him as soon as possible. Now here there is a melee dude and 2 mages. They're spawning at the same time. Make sure to kill the 2 mages first. They don't have a lot of HP, but if you don't kill them they will heal the melee dude. After the 2 mages are dead, yeah, you can kill the melee dude. He's not really difficult. He spits fire, wrecking blow, but those attacks are all easy avoidable, and yeah. It's the last mob before the boss, so there is nothing else that spawns apart from those Dwemer balls. Now if you have Dwemer balls up with a shield, make sure to kill those Dwemer balls first and then kill this mob. Because if you don't kill them, then you will have them on the boss stage, and the shock AoE they do together with the boss damage or some other mob will most likely kill you, so you want to have a clean start. Okay, now the boss round. You really want to make sure do not have any of those Dwemer balls at the start. So the boss will come down the wall, and you have, after he's finished, he will start charging his lightning strikes, and there is a safe zone under the boss itself. So when you're under there, the green stuff you see, you will not get hit by those lightning strikes. So you really want to make sure to go down there. And now you see there is no other mobs, so now it's your time to burst down the boss. Basically, like, it always depends how much damage you pull out, but if you have a high DPS build, you will be able to drop him to like 30%. Okay, let's see. So now, after some time, he will stop doing the lightning strikes, and then when you see the green zone moves, like disappears, you have to go away because he has those fire breaths under him, and they will almost instantly kill you if you stay there. You also saw that those Dwemer balls continue spawning, so like if you have enough DPS, you can ignore them or just AoE them down together with the boss, kind of like, but usually I kind of ignore them if I can burst down the boss to like 40% and I know I will kill him in the next phase. Okay, let's see. Also, now two mobs spawned, Dwemer Spider and Dwemer, what, I don't know, those that shoot the darts, you will see. Always keep moving because you see he throws those fireballs at you. And if you get hit by a fireball and a mob or one of those Dwemer balls shoot a lightning strike at you, you're most likely dead. So you really want to make sure to keep like your healing buffs on you, or shields if you have, or like something, and always move around. Then I always kill the Dwemer Spider first, because I'm afraid it will charge up, so it doesn't have a lot of health, so I just nuke it down ASAP. Now you see I killed off the Dwemer dude there. If you want, you can also root him, like if your class has any like stun skills that go for pretty long, because you can ignore fossilize or prolong suffering or stuff like that works perfectly, and then you can focus on the boss. But really, if you don't have something like that, make sure to kill him, because if that mob shoots shit at you while you're under the boss and those Dwemer balls shoot lightnings at you, it's a lot of damage that will most likely kill you. Now we also saw on the left side there is no more fire under the boss. So now there is a point where we have to run under the boss as fast as possible again to damage him. Then the green zone comes again, and during that time no mobs will spawn apart from the Dwemer balls, but we kind of can ignore them if we want to. Okay, I got quite lucky because I had to go range again, but I managed to kill him. Like if you don't manage to kill him, there will be again 2 mobs spawning, a mage and a melee dude, a Zork melee. And that Zork melee dude, he has a bolt escape, and usually he stuns you at the stupidest time. Like when the boss throws fireballs at you and the dude stuns you, then you're more like dead. You really want to, yeah, avoid that. But if your damage is not too bad, then you should be able to do it like I did now, like 2 rounds maximum, and then he's dead. If not, then every stage there will be more mobs and it will get more difficult. So you really want to make sure to kill him in the first two rounds there with the green shit. Stage 5. Stage 5 is one of the most difficult stages in the Maelstrom Arena. Mainly because you get a lot of mobs at once, and there is a lot of annoying mechanics in this round. If it's your first time here, or like if you don't care about the leaderboards at all, then make sure to use sigils, especially the defensive one. Because with the defensive sigil, all the ranged attacks get reflected for 30 seconds, and the melee attacks also deal less damage from enemies. So it really helps a lot. I usually, like the sigils, they always respawn on every round, right? So usually I use my ulti maybe on the first trash pack mobs, like when there is a lot I use it. And when the second trash pack comes, like with a lot of mobs, maybe the last mobs before the next round, I use the defensive sigil just to make sure I don't die. You can kind of balance it with that. So either I have my ulti ready, and then I use it. If I don't have my ulti ready, I can use a sigil to be like more safe. There is this ice water on the ground, and you see like there are 3 platforms. So you really only can stay on those platforms, because when you're in the ice water, you get a shit ton of damage from the ice, and basically after 3 or 4 seconds you're dead. You can test it out, just step into the ice water and you will see it deals a shit ton of damage. Okay, the first round is not really difficult. There is always 2 mobs spawning. Now here on the first platform where we spawn, there is a archer and a melee dude. I usually make sure to kill off the ranged DD first, because the melee guys, you can kite them more easily. And yeah, the range, they just stand there and shoot at you, so I really want to kill him fast. And also those mobs here, they don't have a lot of health, so they are dead pretty fast. However, yeah, the melee dude does a wrecking blow, so if he does it, block it, dodge roll it if possible. Okay, this is another very important mechanic in this round. You see this ice troll? He doesn't directly attack you, but he goes to one of the 3 platforms, usually it's random, I think, and he will smash the platform. And after like 8 seconds probably, the platform will break, and then a Nerianth, like one of those la 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 ghosts, comes out of the ground, and yeah, it deals kind of decent damage, but that's not the problem. The problem is, if you don't kill the ice troll, he will keep destroying the platforms. And on the boss stage, this is very important. Like, you really have to try to kill those ice trolls fast. Also, when they are bashing the platform, you can interrupt them. Like, when you bash them, he gets stunned for like 2 seconds. But usually, if you focus him right away, you can kill him before he breaks the platform. Now, you also saw, like, I saw on the far back there, those two mobs spawned. It's I think a melee dude and a mage. But you saw I didn't go to them because I in the middle the ice troll was spawning, so I waited to see where he goes first. And then I saw, okay, he also goes to the mobs there, so I just followed them to the other platform. You also saw I knew the mobs there would spawn, so I already throw my caltrops over there and my arrow barrage for AoE, because those mobs really don't have a lot of health. So you can AoE them down or single target them, it doesn't really matter, they die really fast. Now those mobs are dead, and then on the last platform there's again two mobs, an archer and a mage. Just make sure to not stand in their AoE, and again they don't have a lot of health, so they're easy targets. But make sure, like, shield yourself up or dodge roll when they do their light attacks. Because, as I said, the melee mobs are usually not a problem because you can kite them, but the ranged mobs, even if there is only two, it still deals quite a lot of damage if they both hit you at the same time. Okay, this is the last mob of this round. Again, I saw that the ice troll is spawning. They spawn throughout the whole stage. It's really annoying sometimes. So I was just waiting to see on what platform he goes to, so I can move along and kill him first. Then there is this mini boss or whatever it is from the first round. You have to be really careful. He deals a shit ton of damage with her rapid strikes. I think it's a woman, yeah. And it makes sure to have a healing effect on you, or dodge roll the attack, or block it, or shield yourself. You will see, like, the rapid strikes deal insane damage if you don't block them or don't heal yourself up. Also, when she reaches a certain HP, she will transform into a werewolf. While she's transforming, and shortly afterwards she gets healed up quite a lot, so it is hard to kill her, but just make sure when she's a werewolf to dodge roll or block her attacks. But again, if you just focus damaging her, then she should be dead pretty fast. Now the second round. Now it gets already kind of tricky, because again there is two archers and a melee mob, and if they all hit you at the same time, you're dead. So make sure to be already there so you can insta-kill one of the archers, because as you saw I was a little bit slow, so I have to get there, and yeah, I'm just a little bit too late. There is basically two ways to do it. Either you can kill the archers first, so you only have melee mobs left, or you can kill the melee mob first, because the melee mob enrages after a certain time. I don't know how long, but you will see he will start glowing red, kind of reddish. And again, like, you can try to kite the mobs, the melee mob, or also stun it, so you have time to kill the archers. But be careful, don't get hit by all three mobs at the same time or you're dead. Now the next mobs As you saw, the ice troll, he spawned at the most retarded time possible, right when the other mobs spawn. So I really would have liked to focus those two melee mobs or the mage first, but now I have to deal with the troll too. So I have to let them come to me, and I have to be really careful to not get hit by all the mobs at the same time. It's really tricky. If you want, you can kill off the mage first, but I would recommend killing off the melee dudes first, because basically if you have enough TPS, one or even both of those melee dudes will be dead before they reach you. So you have to kind of decide how you do it. Okay, now again this mini boss on the second round. You saw again, like I was checking out where this ice troll mob was going, so I wouldn't miss it, because if you're always on one platform and you look into the other side, it is really easy to miss the ice troll and he will break one of those platforms. So now the last mob that spawned, this mini boss, he's not really dangerous at all. He has those ice pillars that are coming up, but you really can avoid them easily because you see the red AoE is not big, but do not stand in there because it deals a shit ton of damage and it snares you at the same time. Also, he will throw light attacks at you, but again, just make sure to have a healing effect or a shield on you and you will be totally fine. Then at some point this mini boss will try to heal himself, so you simply can bash him and he will stop healing himself. Also, what you can do here, for example, if you are if you don't have any ulti, if you just use the ulti, you can light attack this mini boss till you have your ulti back. So you have your ulti ready for the next round. There is no time pressure. Okay, the third round of this stage. I think this is the most difficult one because you have a lot of ranged mobs that hit you and this big ice Atronarch. And also you saw on the most retarded time this motherfucking ice troll spawned. Luckily he came to the right platform, but again it's just retarded. Then you know, again, those archers and these small Nerienfs and the mage that spawns, they have low health, so you can kill them easily. But you really have to make sure that you don't get hit by the ranged mobs and the Ice Atronarch at the same time, or you're dead, if you don't have any damage mitigation. The Ice Atronarch's light attacks do a shit ton of damage. His movement is really slow, so you can kind of circle around him if you want to. So after those mobs are dead, there will be kind of a in-between round. Two Nerienfs, small Nerienfs will spawn, and again one of those melee mobs. And now here you see there is another problem. Those ranged mobs, they can stand in the ice water and they don't get any damage. For ranged setups it's not the issue, but for melee guys, you basically have to go to the other end of the platform, so they are more or less on the platform. Otherwise, if you are where the mage now stands, the enemy mage will kind of be somewhere in the ice water, and it's like you can't kill him in the ice water because the ice water will kill you. It's just a little, it's really retarded. Okay, now the last mobs of this round. Again, you see it's like archer and a mage and one of those small Nerienfs and a big Ice Atronarch. Again, as I said, like when you have your ulti ready, you could have used it on the first big trash pack, and now if you don't have any ulti, you could use the defensive sigil to make you less like vulnerable to melee attacks, and all the ranged attacks get reflected. The sigils make this round a lot easier. Then again, here you see big mob, ranged mobs, if all hit you at the same time, you're dead. So you really have to make sure to block or dodge roll or shield yourself. Okay, round 4 of the 5th stage. This is also a really tricky one. Like at the start there are 2 mages spawning, and well, the mage is not really the issue, but those 2 big mobs are. They have crazy AoE damage. You will see, I will show you later, like they have this AoE damage. AoE attack where they throw kind of stones and this dust up from the ground, and when it hits you it deals like 15 or 18k damage, and if you get hit by a light attack from the mage at the same time, you're dead. Again, here you see the troll, the ice troll spawned at the most retarded time. So I actually wanted to kill the mage and this troll first, but now I really have to be careful that the ice troll doesn't destroy the other platform. Okay, you see there is so many mobs. If you get hit by several of those, then you're dead. So if you have an ulti, then use it now. You also could use the sigil to get less damage, or the weapon, like the damage increase sigil, to kill the mobs fast, because those big mobs, they have a lot of HP. You can't really kill them easily. Now you also saw he kind of raised his hammer or whatever and smashed it on the ground, kind of like playing golf, and these dust things are coming up. Those are it's like a conal attack and three lines. You can dodge roll them, or like if you're far enough you can easily avoid them. But if you get hit by one of those, it deals like 15 or 18k damage, so you really do not want to get hit by this. So make sure to have those mobs always in your eyesight. Now you saw this big mob was screaming, it's kind of fear, and I had to break free from it. And you see he's very far away, but it still hits me. So yeah, if there is more mobs alive and you get feared and you don't break free fast enough, you're also most likely dead. Okay, this is the last mobs of this round. Again, you see one of the very big mob. It's a mini boss and two bears and a mage. So I usually kill the mage first because it's the only ranged mob in here, so I want to kill it. And of course, don't forget the ice troll. Then you can kill both bears, but one bear will always respawn. So I usually just AoE them down, or I just ignore one of those and focus on this mini boss. He doesn't have any new attack, but you really don't want to get hit by all of his attacks basically. If you get hit from his light attack, you get the knockback and it deals a shit ton of damage. But he's very slow moving, so either kite him or just circle around him, and then he will most likely never hit you.
User joined your channel.
Okay, now it's the boss round. Here, most people think it is a DPS race because it destroys platforms, but it really isn't. All the mechanics in here are health based of the boss. So first, at 90%, two mobs will spawn, a melee dude and archer or a mage. Archer, I think, but I'm not sure anymore. You will see in a minute. And then at like 80%, he will destroy the first platform. Then we can drop him to, I think, 50%. And again, two mobs will spawn at 45 or 40%. He will destroy the second platform. And then at 30%, again, two mobs will spawn. And from now on, when you reach the last phase at 30%, you have to DPS the boss down really fast. Because after a certain time, he will destroy the last platform. And if there is no platform left, the ice water will more or less insta-kill you. So at 30%, it is kind of a DPS race. But everything before, you can play around with the boss as long as you want. First two mobs spawn, and you saw I already knew where they were spawning, so you really need to learn where the mobs spawn. It will give you a really good advantage or whatever the word is called. And I want to kill those two mobs as fast as possible because they don't have a lot of health, but if those two mobs hit me and the boss hits me, I'm dead. Again, you see I always kind of circle around the boss because that way he can never really hit me. His attacks are very slow, so I always move around. Now you saw at 75% he got this kind of reddish glow around him. That means he will start charging up and destroying the platform. If you are still standing on the platform where he does his attack to destroy the platform, you're insta dead. You get one shot. So you really do not want to stand there. Then you saw when he destroyed the platform, or I think it's a she, when she destroyed the platform, one of those Nerienf mobs came out. So now what I do, I really want to focus the Nerienf mob first, this Lalala mob, and then I will focus on the boss again. Because the Nerienf doesn't do a lot of damage, but it has this water AoE attack that comes up from the ground, which deals a lot of damage. And if you get hit by that and the boss, you're dead. Now again, when I was still on the other platform, the boss was also screaming and he kind of feared me again, so I had to break free. For stamina guys, it's usually not a big issue because we have enough stamina, but for Magicka, if you had to roll around or block a lot and you don't have enough stamina to break free, you're most likely dead. Now you see he did this AoE again, now 5 lines, and you really don't want to get hit by those because it almost instantly kills you. Now I saw at 60%. Again, 2 mobs spawn. They spawn in the water. It's a melee dude and a mage. And the melee dude comes to you, yes, but the shitty mage stands in the fucking water there, which is just retarded. For if you have a melee setup. So you really want to focus on them first, because at 50%, I think, the boss will destroy the platform again. So now the boss reached 30% and you saw 2 more mobs spawned. And from now on, you have like, I don't know, maybe 15 seconds or 20 seconds to kill the boss. If you don't manage to kill him fast enough, he will break the last platform and you're dead. And you also saw I took the defensive sigil, so I can ignore the 2 mobs that spawn. So I just can really focus on the boss. Stage 6 now. So in this round there is a lot of CCing and stuns and all that shit going on. I will try to explain those things later to you. You will also get some bigger mobs like flesh atros or lurkers that deal insane damage, and I will try to tell you how to deal with them. So like when the round starts here, it's not really difficult, just kill those 2. But again, as they're quite annoying as they root you on the ground, and yeah, it's a little bit retarded, but anyway, just kill them. They shouldn't be hard to kill because they don't have a lot of HP at all. Also, the other mobs that will spawn, they really don't have a lot of HP, so you really can kill them easily. Okay, there is this lightning AoE. It is like when you're on the movement, when you are on the move most of the times, like run around, kite stuff, it doesn't really hit you at all because it is very slow. Like you see the AoE coming, and yeah, it doesn't move with you, so it's easy to avoid. However, if you want to activate the synergy or something, like you have to stand close to something and that shit hits you, it deals quite a lot of damage, so you have to be aware where it is and how it hits you. Okay, so in this arena you will also have another mechanic with those pillars that are around the arena. You see one in the middle and I think it's 4 or 5 around. So now you see at the start most of those pillars are webbed up from spiders or whatever. So what you want to do now is with those small bugs, like they really die in 1-2 hits, you want to go close to one of those pillars that has those webs around them. When you kill the bug close to it, it will get freed. Once you have freed all the pillars from those webs, like all the mobs that are currently in the arena will get stunned for like 10 seconds, I think. So you really can try to coordinate when there is a mini boss or something. You can always let like one pillar webbed up, and when you see okay a boss is coming or a lot of mobs are coming, you can try to bring one of the bugs there and then kill it, and then everybody will get stunned when you want it. Now also when the bug dies somewhere far away from a pillar, you will see those clumpy, disgusting balls on the ground. You can use them like a synergy and throw them to one of those pillars, and then the pillar also will get freed. Also, you can throw those disgusting balls at the mob, and then it will take more damage. Important is that you always, like, once you activated all the pillars, after the stun is over, all the pillars will get webbed up again, except one. So you really have to make sure to try to find the new bug that spawns shortly afterwards, so you can free a second pillar. That is important because through the arena there are very small spiders spawning, and you can't kill them, and they only go away when you go to one of those pillars that is glowing up yellow, because they're kind of scared of the light, I guess. So that's the only way you can get rid of them. And you always need 2 pillars that are unwebbed, because when one is glowing, sometimes it stops right when the small spiders like come up, spawn. Then you have to go to the second one, which will glow up. And if you don't have a second one, you will have like 10 seconds without the glowing pillar, and then you're most likely dead. Now you heard this strange sound. That's the sign that now those small spiders are spawning and they will attack you. Now you see, I was going to this pillar that was glowing yellowish, and those small spiders, they kind of get, I don't know, reflected from this yellow shit, or they're scared of the light and then they disappear again. If you don't do that, then those small spiders, like when they all attack you, you will die. So you really have to make sure to stand close to one of those glowing pillars. Okay, now the first kind of dangerous mob. Those flash atronarchs, like they hit like trucks, so you really want to try to kite them or dodge or block their attacks, because they take away like 60% of your HP. I always try to save up my ulti for those mobs so I can nuke them down fast. Again, if it's your first time, maybe use a sigil, because you will see he deals a shit ton of damage. if he hits you, you really want to make sure that you heal up again, because 2 hits of this mob and you're dead. You will see. Again, this melee mob, especially for Magicka users, it can be really annoying, so you want to focus it first, because it always roots you. And as Magicka you don't have a lot of stamina to break free, so maybe at some point you can break free and then a lot of mobs will hit you at the same time and you die. So maybe just focus this dual wield dude first as Magicka setup. Also another thing, you see now there's this lightning again, and it's always kind of swapping back and forth, like you will get lightning, after lightning those small spiders will come, after spiders lightning will come. It should never be that both things are there at the same time, so you never really get the lightning and the spiders at the same time unless some shit is really broken. But yeah, whatever. I think it was an issue before, but I think now they fixed it. And before I forget it, you see the circle there that I highlighted. There is another spider. Like as I said, with the box, you kind of unweb the pillars, and from time to time, one of those spiders will spawn and try to web those pillars again. So it doesn't have a lot of HP, so make sure to kill it fast, and always look around. Like you have to know which pillars you freed already, so you can see when, always like have them in your eyesight, so you can see when one of those shitty spider comes up and tries to web it again. You really want to kill it so it doesn't get webbed, the pillar. You see, there's a lot of shit going on. The big flash Atronarch, which deals a lot of damage, and lightning strikes that can hit you. If the flash Atro and the lightning strike hit you at the same time, you are most likely dead. On the right side you see one of those spiders that tries to web the pillar. Then one of the small bugs there. There's really a lot of stuff going on, and I know my build more like perfectly, so I really don't have to look at my skills, so I can really focus on the situation, which helps me a lot. So you really need to know your build really good. Okay, now you have this kind of stem sword mini boss, I think. He he has this lightning strikes AoE. It's easy avoidable, you will see, and the most annoying thing is he has a negate, so you really don't want to use your ultimate before he drops a negate. So wait till he drops the negate, and when he dropped the negate you could use your ulti. Other thing here is, you see, like, I have almost all pillars freed from the webs for a long time already. So what I usually do here, when this mini boss is at 50% HP, I free the last pillar, so the boss gets stunned and I can DPS him down to 0 very quickly. Because at 25%, two archers, I think will spawn, so you really want to make sure to get rid of this mini boss really fast. But as you see here, I had enough DPS, so I just killed him without freeing the pillars, the last pillar. Here you want to make sure to kill the mage first. It doesn't have a lot of HP, but it can be very dangerous if the flash outthrow and the mage hit you at the same time. So try to kite around the flash outthrow and make sure to kill the mage really fast.
User disconnected from your channel.
Okay, now next round. Here I literally shit my pants because you saw this lurcher, he has this kind of bash attack. It deals a lot of damage, and the mage with the AoE, if those both had hit me, I would have been dead. Also the mob from the left side, it could have rooted me at this very perfect time, and then the other two mobs hit me in the face and I'm dead. So what you will see now, I try to kite this lurcher a little bit and kill off the two small mobs first. Because really you don't want to get hit by this lurcher. If you have the possibility, kite it. Always kite it and avoid the damage that it does. Now another mini boss. He does like light attacks and wrecking blows with his two-hander, which are really annoying, but they don't really kill you. But if he hits you with his wrecking blow and the lightning strike hits you at the same time, you're dead. So you really just avoid it. Now you see he's casting something. It's kind of one of those disgusting dirt balls he's throwing at you. And when you have that, I think you get the dot and you are snared. So if you're a DK, just reflect it back, and if you're another class, just dodge roll it if possible. Same thing here, at 25%, two mages are spawning, two mages. So I have enough DPS, so I just nuke him down. But what you also can do is, again, with the pillars, just let one pillar webbed up and then get when he's at 50%, get the bug and free the last pillar, and then the mob will be stunned and you just can DPS him down. At 25% other mobs will spawn, but they are also stunned, so they can't attack you, so you have time to kill this mini boss. Okay, I was wrong. You see, 2 archers and a melee dude. Now it's up to you, like you can kite the melee dude, but he roots you, so I prefer you focus him first and then you kill the archers if possible. Or just AoE down everything, whatever. Now, the last 2 mobs before the boss, 2 lurkers, lurchers, or whatever you call them. You really don't want to get hit by them at the same time, so if you're ranged, just kite them. If you're melee, you can try to hit them in melee combat and just make sure always be at max range, so they kind of can't really hit you, but you can hit them because they have a bigger hitbox than you. Or just wait till they go into their shaking mode and then kill them. You will see they have this red AoE when they shake their bodies around, but the AoE is very small, so you have time to attack them from outside. Or just take the defensive, sit chill, and then you're also safe. So this boss, here it is kind of a DPS race to a certain point, because at some point the boss can one-shot you if you're too slow, but I will get to that later. Basically the boss has he spits kind of balls at you. If you're a DK, just reflect them. And yeah, they do decent damage, so really make sure to heal yourself or have a shield up or dodge them. And he also has an AoE attack, just make sure not to stand in there, those lightning strikes that go over the ground. At some point he also has a really huge AoE. He kind of cuddles himself and charges the AoE up, and the red AoE will get bigger and bigger. You have to make sure to stand outside of that because it one-shots you almost, or it actually one-shots you, I think. Then you see one of those spiders, or yeah, it looks like a baby version of the boss. You have to make sure to kill this mob, because the longer it is alive, the more you will get snared. So I think it can go up to a 90% snare. And the problem with that is, when the small spiders spawn, you are not fast enough to get to get to those pillars that are glowing up, and then you're dead. Okay, let's see. So again, there is this one-shot mechanic. After a certain amount of time, the boss will one-shot you. However, you can reset this one-shot mechanic by freeing all the those pillars from the webs. When then all the mobs get stunned, the boss gets stunned. If you have really high DPS, you can nuke him down quite fast because it stuns him for like 10 seconds, I think, or something. And again, the one-shot mechanic gets resetted. And you also saw when the boss fight started, at the start, I already had almost all the pillars freed from the webs. So I only need one buck to get my stun ready. That's what I did now, you will see. Now I really damage the boss as fast as possible. Usually at 50% Lurcher will spawn. He will spawn later, you will see. But usually if the boss isn't stunned, the Lurcher will spawn at 50%. If you want, you can take the defensive sigil. Usually what I do when I'm unsure, I just drop the boss to like 60 and then I stun the boss with the pillars, and when the stun is over I go take the defensive sigil. So you saw I was just ignoring all the other mobs because I know he was in execute phase and I just could execute him, but I took the defensive sigil because if the Lurcher hits me and the boss, then I'm most likely dead. And with the defensive sigil I knew the boss's attacks get reflected and I could kite the Lurcher around a little bit, so I could just focus on the boss. If you have less DPS, as I said, stun the boss at like 60% if possible, then DPS him down with ulti etc. as fast as possible, and when the stun is finished, take the defensive sigil, kill the Lurcher, and then kill the boss. And still, all the other shit is around. There is lightning strikes, there is those small spiders that spawn, so you really have to be aware what's going on. It is not an easy fight.
What an exciting bout!
Okay, stage 7. Stage 7 is one of the most difficult stages to understand because there is a lot of RNG within this round. There is like poison all over the place that spawns randomly. You have to be careful of a lot of ranged attacks that deal a shit ton of damage, a lot of enemy AoE and very strong mini bosses. So now, first of all, the most important thing, on the right side you see this greenish pool, and on the left side I highlighted this flower, right? So when you go too close to one of those flowers, they're all over the place, usually 5 to 6 if I remember correctly. If you go too close to it, then it will explode and put the poison dot on you. So you have to, if you get hit by that, you have to go to this greenish pool on the right side as fast as possible. Because that green pool, if you get the poison dot, it cures it. Once, when you cure one of those poison dots, the pool will disappear. So if that happens, you really want to try to fight on the other side where there is a second pool that is alive. So if you get hit again in the same round, you have a second pool to cure the dot. If you're Magicka, spam Healing Ward or spam any shield or heal like crazy because the ticks are like 8k. On stamina you're usually dead within 1 or 2 seconds. You have no chance of escaping at all. You're just fucking dead, it's retarded. Okay, the first, I will explain other things later when they come up. The first round is not really difficult. There is just a few mobs you have to watch out that you don't stand in their AoE attacks, and they're easy to kill. For example, if you have a lot of troubles with the archers or ranged mobs, don't forget to take the defensive sigil. Usually during the round, like every round you get new sigils, so basically there is a lot of them, like there's enough of them. What I usually do is I don't take them at the start, but more like at the end of the round, because usually the most difficult mobs come at the end of the round. But you will see later, one round is really difficult, 3 archers at the same time and then 2 trolls. And I will try to tell you how I deal with it. Also at one point you have Wamasu. First 2 archers spawn, and when you kill 1 archer, the first Wamasu, the Wamasu already spawns, which is fucking retarded, and it's really difficult to deal with. I will show you later. Okay, now those archers, they are a real pain in the ass this round. If there's only 1 or 2, you still can manage them, but at one point 3 pop at the same time. I will show you later. And the problem is, if even only 2 archers hit you at the same time, plus another mob, you're dead, because their light attacks, bow light attacks, deal 8k damage. It's just retarded high. They also have this bombard poison spray AoE, which you really shouldn't stand in, because you will get the poison dot, which deals also insane damage. So if you have the any chance to root them, like fossilize, prolong suffering, or like you can reflect their attacks on DK, or on Sork you can use a shield, kind of. You really want to try to avoid their light attacks, because they deal a shit ton of damage. It's completely retarded. Okay, now that you see the archer, he did this poison spray AoE. You kind of have time to get out of the AoE, you also can dodge roll it, but if you get hit by it, you have a nasty poison dot on you, which, if other mobs are around, it's really annoying to deal with. So make sure to either interrupt the dude or just get out of the AoE or dodge roll it. Also, the problem with those archers here is they have quite a lot of HP, so you really need to decide, do you want to kill the small mobs first that have low HP, or kill the archer, because the archer deals a shit ton of damage but the other mobs don't really. It's a lot of shit going on. And also you have always to be aware where the poison, like those flowers are that explode, because if you walk into one of these and mobs attack you, you're also dead. So now those dual wielding mobs, they don't really deal a lot of damage and they don't have a lot of health, so they die really quickly. But they have this annoying fucking root. The problem with that is, if you're a Magicka build, you don't have a lot of stamina, so you need to break free and you can't dodge roll anymore and shit like that. So I usually always focus those first, because if I get rooted in a bad moment when I'm next to a flower and it explodes, then I'm totally fucking screwed. Because it also can happen that those flowers on the ground, you don't even have to be close to them, sometimes they just randomly explode. So if it's in a bad moment and one of those dudes roots you at the same time, you're dead. Oh, and another thing I almost forgot. Those archers also, like, they have the snipe skill. It takes them like 3 seconds to charge. Like, they raise their bow up and it's glowing reddish, red or orange-ish. And if you get hit by that, you're one-shotted. It's a one-shot skill. But as I said, you can dodge roll it, you can interrupt the mob, etc. etc. Just make sure that it doesn't shoot you, because then you're just dead. And the problem again, did you see? I was fighting those two other mobs and the fucking archer spawned way back, and I didn't see that he started charging this attack. So if I hadn't turned around, I wouldn't have noticed that he did this shitty snipe, and I would have been dead. Now did you see this dual wield mob? He put a bleed on me, and the archer is light attacking me. I am standing in my veil and I still almost die. You see, it's only two mobs there, but they deal insane damage. So if you don't know how to avoid attacks, and you don't know how to counter them, you're just dead. So this troll is kind of the mini boss of the first round. They basically spawn in every round, like the last mob. They throw stones at you that deal quite a lot of damage. So either try to avoid them with a shield spam, or like when you have a shield up, or have a healing effect on you, or you can also reflect those. Then they also smash you with their hands, like they slap you in the face. But yeah, and they also have a ground stomp, and you can take the damage, but it deals quite a lot of damage. So I usually walk outside, because those trolls have a huge hitbox. So even if you're a little bit far away, you still can hit them. Now here the issue. You see the flower behind the troll. I can't really go there. Well, I can, but I have to be very careful, because when I get too close, the flower will explode. I get the poison dot, I'm dead. Maybe I'm not even close enough to the flower, but it randomly explodes. It also hits me and I'm dead. So I really have to be careful what that shitty flower does there. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, or I forget that sometimes they like take a rock out of the ground with their huge hands, and they throw those rocks at you. Like you clearly see the animation of the troll, so it is really easy avoidable. And the AoE that hits on the ground, the red AoE, you see it's very small. But if it hits you, it deals a lot of damage and you get knocked on the ground. Now here, when that happens, it's not really bad, because there is only one mob. But in the later rounds, you will have a troll and some other mobs, and if you get knocked down and one of the other mobs hits you, you're dead. Okay, let's see. Okay, first the troll. You saw he enraged and got bigger at like 40 or 30% of his HP. He can't take damage anymore for like 2 seconds until he is transformed. And then you really want to burn him down fast, because all his attacks do a shit ton of damage then. He throws a stone, half of your HP is gone. He light attacks you, like 70% of your HP is gone. You really have to be careful. Also, if he does the ground stomp, you can't stay in there, it deals so much damage, so you really want to kill him fast. Sadly now, Zenimax decided me to bless me with the gift of this fucking mob, the one that just spawned there. There is 4 of those platforms in each corner. 1 of those platforms in each corner, so in total 4, which this mob can spawn, because this mob makes all the flowers in this arena explode. So it's like a fucking minefield, or a mortar field, or whatever you want to call it. you really want to focus him fast, because the flowers will explode. After the flowers exploded, new ones will spawn somewhere in the arena, you don't know, and if you're lucky, they are not close to you, but most of the times one of the flowers spawns close to you and you're just fucking screwed. So yeah, you really want to kill this dude fast. Also, you usually hear the sound, like the screen gets a little bit greenish, the arena, and you hear the sound when he starts casting. It looks like I'm doing Matrix style, I don't know. Okay, now you see, the troll is stomping and the flower there is exploding. If the flower had been 2-3 meters closer to me, I would have gotten hit by it. So I was really lucky here. Now the next round, you see 2 archers and they're already a pain in the ass. Like, you could take, if it's your first time in here, you could take a healing sigil, for example. But I wouldn't take the defensive sigil yet. I know the defensive sigil reflects all the attacks from the archers, but you probably need it later more. But if you really have troubles here in this round, you could take the defensive sigil, because the mini boss is again a troll and 2 mobs, so yeah, maybe those 2 are more dangerous. But let's see. Okay, now another one of those casters spawned again of this platform. I was lucky because I just saw him, but usually when they spawn in your back somewhere, you don't really see them, and then when you're too close to flowers, you have like a oh shit moment, and then if you're lucky you can dodge all the flowers, if not you're just fucking dead if you're a stamina build. As a magic build you still can spam healing ward or some shield and you might survive. Okay, those are the last mobs of this round. So again, one of those trolls and 2 small mobs. What I do, I make sure that I have a healing effect on me, because the troll light throws stones at me and the 2 mobs try to hit me. But those mobs, I always focus those first because they have very low HP, so they die really quickly. And then you only have to deal with the troll. Now did you see that? I tried to kill the ghost and that motherfucking troll throws a shitty rock at me. If Flower was close to that and would have exploded in this moment, I would have been just dead. It's you have to watch, like you have to be careful about so many things, this arena. Okay, here I was like crazy lucky, because basically I was outside of this poison dot for 0.25 seconds and it seems to explode right when it reached the max range. So you see, I thought I got the dot and I run to this greenish area which you can cure the poison dot. Another thing, you see, like when you have a speed buff or something, you can kind of clear those flowers. You run really close to them and then you run away very fast, because this one was right in the middle of the arena kindish, and I know I will sooner or later walk around there, and I don't want that shitty flower there, so I just cleared it. That way you kind of can control a little bit how and where you want to fight without those shitty flowers. But again, as soon as a caster spawns, he will destroy all the flowers and then they will randomly spawn again. So you really have to be always careful about those flowers. Now again, one of those casters, you see a right side flower, and now look at the left side, there is no fucking flower, and see what the fuck happens now. One of those flower, now you see the right side, this flower wasn't there a second ago, so it just fucking spawned, and if I hadn't moved out there, I would have gotten the poison dot. It's so much shitty RNG in this round, it's horrible. Okay, now this is the most fucked up situation you can basically get in this motherfucking arena. I was not fast enough to kill those archers probably, and the next mob, basically a mini boss, already spawned. So if it's your first time here, you're just fucking dead. There is no way you can deal with those 3 mobs at all. It's just the Wamasu there. He throws these lightning balls at you, and they snare you really hard, and you get a high dot, like a crazy dot on you that deals a shit ton of damage. And if those 2 archers hit you plus the dot, you're just fucking dead. Then, on top of that, as I said, like the archers can use AoE, snipe, and you're snared, so you don't really get forward, and you have more issues to avoid red AoE things. Then the Wamasu also has this stomp he does, where he kind of lifts himself up and then stomps the ground, and 4 I don't know, those wind shock balls come out. If you get hit by those, you're just one shot. I once had 75% damage mitigation up against this mob, and I still got 30k damage. You will see later. So now what I had to do here, I really had to take this the defensive sigil. I usually always kill one of the archers really fast, and then I get the defensive sigil, and then I kill the second archer. Sometimes I just kill him and then I deal with the Wamasu. As a Magicka build, you have healing ward or like any shields that help you a little bit, but on stamina you really want to dodge roll the Wamasu's lightning balls as long as possible if you have enough stamina left, because as I said, they put a really nasty snare on you. Now you see I dodge rolled, and I have to be really careful because the flower there, I almost rolled into the flower, and if it had explodes, I would have been dead. Now, on top of the Wamazo and the archer that is still alive. I was quite lucky because I could kill one of the archers really fast. But now this caster comes and it's just fucking Armageddon in here. Okay, now you saw the Wamazu, he lifted himself up and stomped on the ground and those 4 red AoEs came out. If you get hit by that, you're one shot. They deal, I don't know, like 70k damage, you're just dead. So for ranged classes it's a little bit easier, but for melee you really have to be careful. When he does a stomp, you just have to go away from that mob as fast as possible. Also, before I forget it, those lightning balls that he shoots out of his mouth, you can't reflect them. Now I got hit by one of those poison dots and luckily I stood next to the fucking greenish pool to cure me instantly. Otherwise I would have been dead. Also, you see all the lightning balls he shoots out of his mouth. I avoided all of them, so I don't have the snare dot on me or the damage dot, the snare and damage dot yet. Now you saw I got the dot and the snare, and I was already quite low on stamina, and yeah, usually you can kind of avoid those, like his AoE with walking left or right, but this snare, it slowed me down so hard. I was really afraid one of those red AoEs is going to hit me. And also this Wamazu, he has a shit ton of HP, so he doesn't die quickly. Really, here, even if possible, before the Wamazu spawns, take the defensive sigil and the offensive sigil. You also can take all the sigils because it's the hardest mob in this stage. This is his last attack, kind of a shock breath. As you see, it's a cone, so it's easy avoidable. But that's not even the problem. You saw at the back another caster spawn. So now I have to decide, do I kill the Wamazu first or do I kill the caster first? There's so much stuff going on. Okay, here, this is also one of the most difficult situations in this stage. 3 archers spawn at the same time. If you stand in the middle, each of the archers will do a light attack at the same time, which do like 8k damage. That means if you have less than 24k health, you need more, like 25, 26, you're just dead. So I usually just take the defensive sigil here, so the archers, all their attacks get reflected. Now I really want to kill those fast, because afterwards 2 trolls will spawn. So now what I do here, like I get the defensive sigil for those mob, but I save my ulti. so I can use my ulti on the trolls afterwards. If you're DK, just reflect all those shitty attacks and no problemo. But yeah, if you're not, take the defensive sigil, kill those mobs fast. Then you maybe still have some time left on your sigil, the defensive one, and you also can reflect some troll attacks. Now you see two trolls, one spawn on the left, one on the right. I usually try to focus one first, but you saw while I was damaging this one, the other dude threw a rock. So if I wouldn't have been careful enough, he had knocked me down probably. And if the other mob hits me at the same time, you're on a pretty low health level probably then. But anyway, so now you saw this dude enraged, so I really want to kill him fast now. Because if the enraged mob hits me and the other mob hits me, I'm just dead. Okay, did you see? The enraged troll did his stomp attack and it's almost instant. And you saw 60% of my HP just fucking disappeared. In my fucking ulti where I have 30% damage mitigation. If the other troll had hit me at the same time, you're dead. Or I'm dead, yeah. Okay, now boss fight. You saw I kind of cleared one of those flowers because it was in the middle of the fucking field where I usually fight. This boss, he has those like ranged poison attacks that he throws at you, and you saw this small red AoE. It's on the ground. It's easy avoidable. You can't reflect it though if you're a DK. Anyway, he also has his light attacks, and then he has this. He takes his hand and smashes it kind of like Bud Spencer on your head, and you get after he smashes you on the head, he takes a bite from you, and you get a bleed dot. You can try to dodge roll it, or when you're fast enough breaking free, you also don't get the bleed dot. Sometimes though, because the game is fucking buggy, you can't break free fast enough and you get the bleed dot. When you have the bleed dot, you really don't want to be close to the boss, because if he hits you with a light attack or his ground stomp, then yeah, you could die. Then also he has this ground stomp, he smashes his foot into the ground, and there's those, I don't know, stones going all over the place that hit you. If you have a healing effect on you, it's no problem. It takes away like 50% of your HP. Okay, let's see. That's his ground stomp. As you see, if you go a little bit back, you can easily avoid it. But also, if it hits you, it doesn't kill you instantly. That is his smash I talked earlier about. Now I blocked it. Usually when you block it, he does it 2-3 times, so eventually you will have to break free. Okay, next tricky thing in this boss fight. 2 mages spawn. once you kill one of the mages, the boss will enrage. I will show you in a second. Also, those mages, they have this AoE attack. They kind of charge themselves up and then they port instantly to you. And while the AoE is still building, it already knocks you down. I think it's a little bit a bug. I'm not sure why Zenimax didn't fix it yet. Well, I know why, but anyway, let's see. Okay, one other really important thing. The moment you kill one of the mages, the boss goes into enrage mode. That means, you see he did his stomp, the AoE shit that comes close to me. If the mage dies and you get hit by that AoE thing, it deals enraged damage. That means 27k damage in your face and you're just fucking dead because of Zenimax and their shitty broken mechanics. So any attack from that moment on, one of the mages is dead, will hit you with enraged damage. Although I think it shouldn't, but anyway, whatever. You really have to be careful. Another thing, those mages, like always, two will spawn, one on the left and one on the right side. So as a ranged as a ranged setup, you don't really have the issue. Now you see, once one of the mages is dead, he will start his screaming phase, and the second mage that is still alive will put on this blue bubble. If you do stand in there, it will protect you from the scream. If you do not stand in there, you're insta-dead. You can interrupt the boss, the scream, but then he will be in his enrage phase the whole time, and one hit from him and you're dead. So really try to get into this fucking bubble. I also usually drop this mage a little bit, so it has like 30% HP if I have time. But you also can just damage the boss. As I said, as a ranged setup, you don't really care how far the boss is away from you. But as a melee setup, you really need to position the boss correctly. So what I usually do, I fight with the boss, let's say on the right side, a little bit more on the right side, and then one of the mages spawns close to the boss. So I go over to the other side and kill that mage. And because the boss and the mage both have the same range of their attacks, they will stand close together. So once I killed the other mage, I run back, and then I'm most likely more or less close to the boss and I can damage him. His hitbox is quite big, so you don't really need to be really close. Now you saw, he stomped me on the head and then I had to break free. If I hadn't break free fast enough, I would have gotten the bleed dot. Did you see that? It's like fucking RNGesus all up your ass, seriously? The mage spawned like those two flowers were almost on the perfect place to fuck me up really hard. I was so afraid that one of the flowers randomly explodes, so I had issues to get to the mage because it right stood in the fucking middle of those two fucking flowers. Seriously, so retarded. Anyway, as a ranged setup you don't have those issues, but as a melee you're just fuck, it's just retarded. Then I had to get quickly back to the mage because maybe half a second more and I would have gotten a huge damage tick from the enrage scream. Now you see the mage. This is the attack I talked earlier about. He ports to you and like half a second later it already knocks you down, although it didn't yet explode. I think it's a bug. It should explode later because usually the mobs do something and then when the AoE reach the max range it explodes, but it already explodes halfway through. If you get hit by that and the stomp or any attack of the boss, you're insta dead. Now you saw I got the bleed dot, so I was out of resources and I shit my pants, so I took sigils.
Done. Well played.
Okay guys, stage 8. Here there is a lot of fire damage, so good fucking luck if you're a vampire. First of all, there is a lot of ranged mobs here, and the most annoying mob is probably the healer. There is always a lot of healers, and if you don't instantly kill them, they heal their friends up a lot, and it's really annoying. So let's just hop in and see what's going on. The Flame Atronarchs on the left side there, they're not really like any problem at all. They have their ranged light attacks and they do their fire AoE, but it's easy to avoid. You have to be more careful with those melee dudes here. They are using a wrecking blow, so you need to dodge roll or block it. And another thing, when you're running away from them, they critical rush you and it deals a shit ton of damage. So make sure to have a shield up or dodge roll it, or just always stay close to them. I always stay close to them so they don't crit charge me, because really it deals a shit ton of damage. If you have experienced it, you will know what I'm talking about. Now you saw left and right side each a healer. So really I always try to kill off the healers first because they really spam their healing skills and you basically can't kill anything at all if they're still alive. Then the next thing, those firecasters. You really need to interrupt this attack because the longer he casts it, the more damage his dots do. Like the fireball gets shot at you like at some point they really one-shot you. So go to him, interrupt him, like bash him, and yeah, if you're a stamina guy, you can try to dodge roll the attacks if you're really far away, because the range of their attack is just stupidly long. It's crazy. Then as you see, all around this area there is is lava around, and from the lava sometimes fireballs get shot at you. So you can't really stand at one place for too long. If that shit hits you, you get stunned. So you really want to avoid this. Okay, now this is the first mini boss of the first round. Most important thing you see on the left side is totem or pillar or whatever. You can't damage the big mob on the right when you haven't killed this totem first. So you need to damage the totem first, and then it will kind of explode into pieces, and then the mob gets stunned for 1-2 seconds, and then like from that point on you can damage him. Make sure, like, this mob, his light attack, it almost fucking takes away 80% of your life. So as a ranged setup, you don't really have any issues here. It's like Christmas. I don't know what Zenimax thought, because you just can kite the mob and he will not hit you. Yeah, and as melee setup, you really have to block or dodge roll his attacks, otherwise you will be totally screwed. You can try to save your ulti for those mobs here. I usually do that. And if it's your first time, just use a defensive sigil to reduce the damage. So now this is kind of his AoE attack. He smashes his hand into the ground, and then those 3 fireballs get shot at you. They're incredibly fast, very small though. But basically, if you stand in front of the boss and he does that, all 3 balls hit at the same time and you're dead. One of those fireballs takes away maybe half of your HP, and if you're a little bit further away, you can try to avoid it or just have a healing dot on you, and then you're totally fine. You see, I just try to kite him around a little bit. When he comes close, I just run away again because I don't want to get hit from his melee attack. However, as I said, you can melee him, because if you know what attacks he does, you know when to block or when to dodge roll his attack, or when you have an ulti ready, then it is possible to kill him, but it is very risky. So that's why I just try to be more careful and yeah, spam snipe, I guess. Okay, then round 2, I always kill this firecaster first, because in the on the middle left you see those, I don't know, firebox are spawning. So, and they're really slow, so you have time to kill this firecaster. Be aware though, as soon as the firecaster is dead, 2 or 3 more firebox will spawn. So you really want to make sure to kill the other box fast. They don't deal a lot of damage, but if all attack on the same time, you're most likely dead. Now again, you see, before I killed those mobs, already the next mob spawn. It is really annoying. Like when you're too slow, you will have so many mobs and you're just dead. So now what I am trying to do, I will try to kill those small mobs first, and then when they are all dead, I want to focus the mini boss. And I really want to avoid to get hit from the big mob and the small mobs at the same time, because otherwise I'm just dead. You saw I took the defensive sigil because I shit my pants, because it was still a no death run, so I just want to play it safe. Of course you can do it without, but I'm a chicken, so I just took it. And if you're the first time here, don't hesitate to take those fucking sigils. They really help a lot. Now here, like when the other dude that I just killed is approximately 25-40%, those 3 mobs spawn already. So if you're too slow killing the other dude, the healer will come and heal him up again. And it is already enough to deal with 2 where I can blow spammers. It feels a little bit like PvP in here. And with 3, it's really annoying. Also, those guys, they have this carve skill, and it deals a shit ton of damage, and they kind of spam it. So it is really, like, if you don't kill them fast enough, it is really annoying and you just might die. But again, first kill the healer, then the other 2 mobs. If you have issues, take the sigil. Maybe a healing sigil or the weapon power sigil. But don't yet take the defensive sigil, we need that later. It was a crit charge I talked earlier about. I think I blocked it or dodged it, I don't know. But usually it deals a shit ton of damage, so you really want to keep those guys close to you. You really need to kill off this firecaster really fast. And also you need to avoid attacks from the big mob. So really focus the firecaster first, and then the bug, and then the mini boss. So now it gets really tricky. You get two healers, one on next to me on this totem and the other one on the other side on the totem. You get two fire casters and I think a firebug. So the problem here is you need to kill the healers first. But if the fire casters start casting their shitty flame, like this flame AoE that does more and more damage the longer it is active, you kind of have to, I don't know, like you have to kill the healers, but when the dude does this fire skill, you need to interrupt him and then go back to the healer, kill the healer. It is really tricky. So really make sure the moment the healer spawns, charge your heavy attack and almost like heavy attack skill and that insta kill him, that one healer is already dead. Then watch out for the fire casters, always keep them in eyesight so you see what the fuck they are doing. Then kill the second healer and then the other mobs. If you don't have enough DPS, just take the weapon sigil and the healing sigil at the start so you have an easier time to kill stuff. Don't be afraid to take sigils. Okay, now this is the point. Before those mobs spawn, you need to take the defensive sigil, especially if it's your first time. Like, it is possible to do without, of course, but it is really difficult to do it without this sigil at the first time. As you saw, the melee dude I killed off before he was dead, the mobs already spawned. If you're too slow DPSing him, the two healers that just spawned will heal him up again and you're just fucking screwed. You really need to kill him fast. Then, as you see, two healers and a mini boss. Now, make sure to kill the healers first. Then this mini boss is almost stronger as the boss itself in this stage. I will show you later why. He has the first thing this mini boss does when he spawns, he does his chains. He wants to pull you to him. Okay, now let's see. Again, the boss, he does this fire breath and you can dodge roll it, or if you're ranged just always kite the boss. It's not really difficult. But if he puts the dot on you, it deals a shit ton of damage. And the boss also, this mini boss also drops a standard, and if you stand in there for 2 seconds, you're just fucking screwed. Then his light attacks deal a shit ton of retarded damage. It's so retarded. I mean, as a ranged setup, you will not even notice how hard this mob hits because you just kite him. And as melee, you're just fucking screwed. Of course, if you have an ultimate, you can try to kill him fast, but you really have to be aware of his attacks. If you don't know when he does what, you're just screwed. Again, I need to kill the totem first, and after the totem is dead, I can attack the boss. Before, the boss doesn't take any damage. And also he throws his fireballs and it creates those fire lines. They also deal a shit ton of damage. Basically all of these mobs attack deal insane damage. So you really want to avoid all his attacks if possible. If I had that ulti chain on my DK, I would be so fucking happy. It's like, it's, yeah, whatever. Let's just continue. Okay, now boss round. This boss is quite easy compared to other fights. I'm sure it has been nerfed for some reason and they made it really, I think, too easy. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's see. Like a second before the boss spawns, all those three totems get together, like they get active again. And now this boss works like this. You have to destroy all the three totems, then the boss will be damageable for like 10 seconds or so. So you really want to save your ulti and your full burst when all three totems are dead, not deathful. So if you're on the last totem, drop all your dots and all your AoE shit on the ground and on the boss. So the moment he is being damageable, you just can burst him really down. There is people, they nuke him down in one round. So, but if you're the first time in here, it will be a lot more difficult because maybe you don't have that much DPS. Again, don't be afraid to take the weapon sigil for more burst. So now you see the boss itself is very, very slow moving. But when he hits you really hard. Basically, he has his light attacks and this scarf. If you get hit by this scarf, as you saw, I dodge rolled it, but if you get hit, it kind of knocks you back like 6 meters. And it deals a lot of damage. Also, he spits those fireballs from time to time, which put a dot on you. But you can block it or dodge roll it if you want. It doesn't deal a lot of damage. Okay, as always, add spawn in the most retarded time that is possible. You will basically always have a firecaster spawning at some point, and then a little bit later 2 flamatronarchs, then again a little bit later one of these firecasters, then again 2 flamatronarchs. It's always repetitive. Like there is not always more and more mobs, it's always the same. Okay, now I know like there is no other mobs around and I can really, like the boss is moving very slow and I have time to heavy attack those totems to regain some resources if you have resource issues. See, I always watch what the boss does. I dodge roll his at almost all of his attacks. I don't really look at the flame atronachs, and I don't have to look at my skill bar because I know where my skills are. If you have to look at your skill bar, you lose time and you don't know what's going on, and that's not good. So you really have to know your setup, and then you really can focus on the hard hitting enemies.
That was one for the record books.
Okay, we are finally in the last stage, stage 9. Now here there is a lot of stuff going on as well. You see the ghosts in the back, the white ghosts. If you walk into them, like they kind of slide over the whole place here. If you get hit by one or you walk into one, it takes away like half your health, so you really want to avoid those. For the mobs here, you see there is a melee dude with a shield. He does use talents or his whip to hit you. I mean, you can kite this mob, it's no problem. And then we have the ranged mobs. The archers don't really do a lot of damage, but watch out for their snipe. The healer here in this round are also a little bit annoying, because yeah, they heal quite a lot, but again you can interrupt it and then you shouldn't have an issue. Okay, now the most important mechanic in this round. You see this yellow ghost? You really need to get those ghosts. Like when you walk into them, you kind of absorb their energy, or however you want to call it. And once you have 3 of those yellow ghosts, you can activate the synergy that kind of looks like an explosion, and then all the mobs are stunned. So you really can kind of time it, like when you want to explode. So basically you you absorb one ghost, and then this ghost is like for 1 minute 20 seconds or 1 minute on you. So you have that time limit to get a second ghost. So it shouldn't really be an issue. Once you have 3 ghosts, you can activate this synergy, and for that you have like 15 seconds, if I remember correctly. When you get another ghost during this 15 seconds, it goes again up to 15 seconds. It kind of recharges it. So once you know how it works, you can kind of time those ghosts correctly for the mobs that deal a shit ton of damage. As you see, these small mobs, they don't have a lot of health and they really die quickly, so you shouldn't really have big issues with them. Now, here, this crematorial guard. I think it's my most hated mob in the arena. It took me so long to figure out how you could avoid his attacks and shit. But anyway, so now, this mob, most people get killed by his fire breath. You will see that in a second. He usually does light attacks, or he bites. I can't remember. They deals average damage, but once after like 5 seconds he starts burning, and then he is doing a fire breath on you. And if you just stand there, take the damage, you will die. So what you have to do is either kite him, try to kill him that way, or just run in a very small circle around him, because then the fire breath doesn't hit you. What you have to be aware, of course, is like the ghosts that are randomly sliding around. Just make sure not to walk into one of those while you're circling this mob. So did you see? I was walking around him and I didn't take any damage from the fire. If you just stand there and take all the damage in your face, you're most likely dead. That's what I had the biggest issues at the start, but now it's pretty simple. So now, one of the most dangerous mobs in this stage, the one up north next to my shadow image, it's this Nightblade. The problem with him is sometimes he does use ambush on you, that stands, and then right after the ambush he uses soul tether. And the soul tether, like ambush damage and soul tether damage, almost kills you. And then there is two other mobs, and if they all hit you at the same time, you're just dead. So I really want to make sure to kill this badass motherfucker first. So now you saw his soul tether. It did quite a lot of damage, but have you seen how close I was to death? Because this ghost almost walked into me. It would have probably killed me, but I was lucky and I could get away early enough. So now you saw I had 3 ghosts of the yellow ghosts, and this was the synergy I used. And now it stuns both of the mobs. Usually when you time it correctly, you will almost always have one of those synergy bombs when these crematorial flame guards spawn. So now, as I have time, I really want to kill him. I want to kill this crematorial guard fast and then focus on the other mob. If you don't have the synergy or something, don't be afraid to use the defensive sigil or the healing sigil to make the life easier for you. See those ghosts? It's like they want to hug me really bad. They're all so close to me and I have to be really careful. As you see, I try to kill off those 2 small mobs as fast as possible. They're quite dangerous. The shield dude has his talons, and then there is this ambush Nightblade mob, and they can deal quite a lot of damage. Then now there is this big boy up north. So he spits fireballs at you. They make, like, you can't reflect them. And they put the fire AoE on the ground, as you can see. He's not really dangerous if you're ranged, like, he doesn't do any damage at all. What he does if he drops to low health is he starts healing himself. So yeah. Then, if you're melee, you have to be very careful. Usually he heals himself, but the same animation, he also has this kind of stomach bomb or whatever you want to call it. When you're close to him, he starts smashing his chest, and then it knocks you back, and it deals like it deals a shit ton of damage to you, 14k or something. And if you're not full health, you're most likely dead. And really, the animation is, I'm not sure if it's really the same, but it really looks almost alike. So you can't really see if he's healing or if he wants to like knock you back. It's a little bit strange. Okay, now you see I take sigils from time to time because I'm really shitting my pants because I don't want to die. Now anyway, you see at the start there was only a crematorial guard, and then there is always more and more mobs with him. Now I was lucky, usually I try to kill the healer instantly, so I only have to deal with the crematorial guard, but I saw that the healer is healing himself and not the crematorial guard, so I don't really care, and then I just kill off the guard first. Another thing, those ghosts. If an enemy mob, an NPC, gets the ghost, he is more resistant to damage, so you really want to make sure that you get all the yellow ghosts. And I think it also deals more damage, but I'm not entirely sure. Then, this mob here, he's not really strong, he has chains. He does a fire, like he puts a dot on you and he uses wrecking blow. And then he has this, like, he cuddles himself and he kind of does an explosion, but you see the red AoE on the ground, so it's easy to avoid. And if you have a synergy ready, I usually have it ready here. I use it when he's a little bit on low health, so I can nuke him down before the next mob spawn. Now, you see there's more and more mobs with these crematorial guards, and then the annoying mob, this Nightblade. If the guard does fire breath on you and this dude ambushes you or soul tethers you, you get stunned and you're pretty damn sure dead. So I took the defensive sigil to make sure I don't die. Drop my ulti, try to kill the small mob, the Nightblade, and then I focus on the crematorial guard. I know the other mage there, it doesn't deal a lot of damage, and you see this shield around him, he takes reduced physical damage, so I don't bother with him at the start because I want to get rid of the two more dangerous mobs. Okay, now here another very important mechanic. It's only in this round. There will always be one or two of those mages spawn at the edge of the arena, and they will walk towards the middle and then start summoning a skeletal mini boss or whatever you want to call it. You really have to make sure to kill those off as fast as possible. that they don't reach the middle. Because if they do, they start summoning. It takes a little while to get this big skeletal mob, but if you get it, you're pretty sure dead. Let's see. You saw, I had the synergy already, and then I knew shit like the crematorial guard is coming in the next mob, on the next mob trash. So luckily I got another ghost in time to extend my synergy time, like where I can activate the bomb. Also, before I forget it, you hear the ghost when there is a yellow ghost, this kind of ghosty voice, this train voice, whatever it is, sound you hear when one comes, when he's like around. So now what I did, I killed off those mobs as fast as possible because I knew a crematorial guard would come the next time, so I have my synergy still there. So I can activate it and then he gets stunned and I can kill him without any problems. I forgot about that. When you're close to the edge of the arena, the lava, out of the lava, there will be those flame balls that when they hit you, you see this. You saw the red AOE. They will stun you and deal quite a lot of damage. Now here, when you see the big monster there, you have to remember now 2 mages spawn. When this mob, the big mob spawns, there will be 2 mages. And I always focus the mages first because I know this big mob, it shoots flame balls at you that don't deal a lot of damage as long as you have a healing effect on you. Because I don't want the skeleton mini boss on my ass, so I really kill the mages first. Now you see he started casting, and I don't know, it takes like 15 seconds in total of those mages to get the skeleton mob out of the middle. So you really don't want them to summon this skeleton. Again, there's so much stuff going on. I have to be aware of those ghosts. I'm afraid of the Nightblade. He's going to ambush me and soul tether. And then there's the crematorial guard. It's so much shit going on. If you want, take a sigil. because it really helps to save your ass sometime, like the healing sigil or even the movement sigil. Everything is helpful here. Okay, now let me try to explain a little bit further. You see, it's this big badass mob of a Titan here. Anyway, this round you saw the first mobs is the crematorial guard and then this night blade that spawn. So you can like take maybe the healing sigil and the movement sigil if you want, but do not touch the defensive sigil because we need it later. Kill the crematorial guard night blade and then this mob will spawn. Now he has his fireballs, he shoots at you, you can reflect them if you're a DK. Deals medium damage, not really hard. But then he has his claw, his fire claw, which he tries to hit you if you're in melee range, which deals a ton of damage, so you really want to block or dodge roll that, if possible. Because I think it knocks you also back, I'm not sure anymore. And if there is a ghost, you're dead, right? So now, you DPS him down, and then after some time, he will knock you back. Let's see. Now we saw the knockback. Usually he does it around 30% HP, but he also sometimes does it at 60%. I couldn't yet figure out the mechanic behind this. Anyway, now here, when he does the knockback, you really have to make sure that in your back there is never one of these ghosts. Because if you don't have full health and he knocks you back and you get knocked into one or two of those ghosts, you're just fucking screwed, right? So now, let's see. After the knockback, flame walls will get shot again. Let's see. So now those firewalls, they're really hard to avoid because the hitbox of those firewalls are pretty big. So even if you think sometimes it doesn't hit you, it still hits you. And then you get kind of stunned. And if you're too far back, there will be fireballs getting shot out of the lava at the same time. And if you get hit by firewall plus this fireball from the lava and a ghost, you're just screwed, you're dead. So you really have to make sure to try to avoid those things. If not, if you don't have chance, maybe make sure to have a bubble up or take the healing sigil, just something, so it doesn't kill you. Okay, now you see at 25%, 3 additional mobs spawn. And that's where I usually go holy macaroni, and I'm just like, shit, now I have to take the defensive sigil. Because there's so much stuff hitting me, otherwise I will die, pretty sure. I take the defensive sigil. You also can take the weapon sigil if you want, but yeah, the defensive sigil is the most important one because you take reduced damage and the ranged mobs don't do any damage to you. So what you want to do first is, because you see this Titan is on low health, so you really want to kill him off fast. So you only have 3 small mobs to deal with. Now you see, like, this is one of the hardest situations in this stage. You see, I almost didn't see the archer charging his snipe. If I hadn't blocked, interrupted, or dodged this dude, like the attack, it would have one-shot me. So really, for me, usually I take the defensive sigil and then I just focus the Titan till he's dead, and then I can focus on the other mobs. As you see, these yellow ghosts that give you this synergy, it really lets you get the breath, you know, like there's so much shit going on, so many mobs that are spawning, and it really makes you able to to breathe again a little bit. Now anyway, this is the last mob before the boss round. So if you want, you can get your ulti full on this and then afterwards kill it. Okay, the boss round. Here, this one, it is not the hardest one, but you need to know the mechanics. Because there is a lot of shit, like when you do one mistake, you just die. So you really want to try to avoid this. Now, the boss works like this. First, you are down here, you try to drop him to 69% health. Then he goes upstairs. You also have to go upstairs, kill 3 crystals. Then you go down again. At that point, mages on the edge of the arena will spawn and try to summon the skeletal mini boss again. Also, at that point, yellow ghosts will come. There will be every 10 seconds a yellow ghost, or even every 5 seconds, and you really don't want to miss one of these. The boss, like the yellow ghosts, can go to the boss, and if the boss gets 3 of those ghosts, he's going to activate the synergy and you're one shot. Anyway, now the boss has his light attacks, like with his stuff, doesn't do a lot of damage. Then he has he's charging kind of a heavy attack and shoots a skull at you. You can block it or dodge roll it. If you don't do that, you get knocked back like 6 meters and knocked to the ground. Not good, because a lot of shitty ghosts around that also deal damage, and you're most likely dead if you get hit from both things. Then he has another attack. He raises his staff and shoots those small skulls at you. You can interrupt that. You kind of need to interrupt that unless you're a DK with scales. And he has his attack where he also cuddles himself and then does this explosion. But now let's get into the fight. After a few seconds in the middle, he will port away and then start charging his attack, like he holds up his stuff and then those small skulls will fly at you. Most of the times he goes next to the spawn place of the healer, but not always. So what you want to do is run to the boss, bash him, like to interrupt his attack, this channeled attack, and then you want to kill the healer as fast as possible, because afterwards there is a crematorial guard spawning. You also have the possibility to fossilize or like any stun that is longer than 20 seconds works on this mob. Fossilized, prolonged suffering, for example, defensive rune, kind of these things. But I prefer to kill it because afterward, if it's dead, it's dead. Okay, you see the spawns are really close together. The healer spawned and shortly afterwards already the crematorial guard. So if you don't focus down the healer, you will have a problem if you have all three those mobs in your face. And another thing, you really want to save your ultimate for the crematorial guard. So now it's time to pop the ultimate. Also, if you want to, you can already use like the defensive sigil here. If you have issues with the crematorial guard, because afterwards we go up, and if there is no issue anymore, and we get like when we go down after we destroy the crystals, and we get all the yellow ghosts, always when there is a crematorial guard spawning, we have the synergy ready. But if we miss one of the yellow ghosts, then the defensive sigil would be nice, but if you already take it now, we don't have it available anymore, so you kind of need to decide on your own. So for me, it's better to die here and try again to kill the crematorial guard with my ultimate than using the defensive sigil. You see, there's a lot of stuff going on. Two of those shitty ghosts almost fucked me up really hard. Then, crematorial guard, I have to try to kill him, but I still have to look at the boss, because you see he's charging this skull, and if I don't dodge it, I'm getting knocked back, and then probably the crematorial guard will just kill me. Now, depending on how fast you are with damaging the boss, if you're very slow, you will always have those turns like healer respawning, then the crematorial guard, then a healer again, then one of those guards again, etc. etc. Usually, like if your DPS isn't that bad, you only get the one healer, then a crematorial guard, and then maybe another healer, and then the boss should be at 69%. And now you see, boss goes into the middle and he goes upstairs. Now you see this spectral Clanfear up front. Now the trick is, one of those 4 platforms in the arena is kind of glowing or like electrified, and you want to bring this spectral Clanfear close to this platform and kill it there. Once you killed it, you are able to press the activate button and port yourself upstairs. One very important note, you have to kill the healer, because afterwards, like, you go up, right, and then you kill the 3 crystals, and when you get down, there will be a huge explosion. You get knocked down from the ring, and then you're downstairs again. If there is a crematorial guard active downstairs, he dies. If there's a spectral Clanfear downstairs, he dies. If there's a healer downstairs, he doesn't die, so you need to kill him off now. You still have to be aware of the fireballs that shoot out of the lava, and while the boss is upstairs and you're still downstairs, you see the boss does those, I don't know, those monster Satnarian attacks at you, like this AoE shit. And if you get hit by several things, you're just dead. And also, if you're not fast enough, then another crematorial guard will spawn, another healer, and it will just make everything more difficult if you don't have enough DPS. Okay, now we are upstairs. Here you see 3 crystals. You need to destroy all those 3 crystals, and then after that the boss fight will continue. Now here it is very tricky, like the longer the fight upstairs lasts, the stronger will get the dot that does the boss on you. Like, so always when you're upstairs you have this damage dot on you, and it always ticks harder the longer you're upstairs. So if you have low DPS, you'll have problems. But usually you can shield yourself or always keep a healing effect on yourself to make sure that you don't die. Then again, if you don't have enough DPS and the healing ticks, these damage ticks get really high, you can go down. If you go down, you probably will have another crematorial guard and one of those spectral clan fears you have to deal with. Kill both of those and go up again, and the damage dot is resetted. So now there is a lot of shit that hits you up here. You see the boss is charging his heavy attack with the skull. If you get hit by that, you get knocked back 6 meters. Most likely you will fall down. You don't want that to happen, so either block it or dodge roll it. Then there is those lava, those fireballs dropping on the ground. If you get hit by those, you get stunned. And you really don't want to get hit by those. Then there is another thing, but let's see in a second. From time to time he starts charging this stomp, this, I don't know, this blast. And if you are not behind the wall that shows up there a little bit up front, you will get knocked down again. So the only safe place is behind this stone wall. So you really have to make sure, like when he starts charging it, it takes like 7 seconds to charge him, and then he does the blast. To just make sure that you are behind this wall by then. Also, the wall will always get faster the more crystals you destroy. So at some point you need basically to run. You see, I have to constantly heal myself because there is this nasty damage dot on me. So you really have to be careful and make sure that you always have a healing effect on you, or a shield, or just something that it doesn't kill you. You know, I kind of panicked because I still haven't died in this shitty run, and then this shit happens because I wasn't careful enough. I got stunned, and then I was too late to get behind the wall, and I got knocked down. Now I have to deal with this. First off, I'm really lucky that I didn't die at all. And now I have to deal with a crematorial guard and one of those clan fears. But I just take you will see I take the sigils so I don't die. You also see, like, I don't really have to look at the boss anymore. I already know the time interval when he's like shooting those skull heads at me. If you don't know that, you always want to keep the boss into your like sight, otherwise, yeah, you get shot from the skull and then you fall down. Once all the crystals are dead, you get knocked down. Sometimes you have to be aware, like as soon as you're down in the lava, you have to walk out of it. And sometimes the spectral clan fear or the crematorial guard don't insta die, and you have to dodge roll their attack, and then like 2 seconds later they die. It is really strange, but just be aware of that. So next step, boss ports down, and then right away he always does his channel attack with those small skulls shooting at you. You want to interrupt him. And now you have to make sure to get every yellow skull. It's your first priority. You see right side there's a skull, and I don't wait till it is close to me, because usually it goes to the boss. The problem is if the ghost, this yellow ghost, is on the opposite side of the arena and you're far away and fighting with the boss, sometimes the boss decides to teleport to the other side, and then he gets the ghost and you're fucking screwed. So don't wait for the yellow ghost to come to you, go to him as fast as possible. So what I did here, usually I kill off the first mage that spawns, and then I focus the boss if I have DPS and if nothing goes wrong. But yeah, you never really know, so you want to make sure to kill the mages as fast as possible. And again, don't miss one of the yellow ghosts. Now you see, third ghost spawned, I get the ghost, and right at that point the crematorial guard spawns. If you have missed one of the yellow ghosts, you don't have the synergy for the crematorial guard and you're fucking screwed, believe me. Also, be aware, while you see it takes you like 1 second to activate the synergy, during that time you still can get stunned, knocked back or shit, and you really have to be careful. Like it happened to me once, I tried to activate it, and while I was activating it, I got stunned and then something killed me. So you really don't want that to happen, so you have to make sure that there is no AoE on the ground or that the boss doesn't shoot his skull at you. So now I activated the synergy, and first thing I do is kill the crematorial guard, because he's the only real like dangerous enemy at this moment. If you don't have enough DPS, make sure to kill the mage again, get all the ghosts, and so you have synergy ready for the crematorial guard. But I knew here already, like I had enough DPS because I have an executioner skill to kill the boss before the mages summon the skeletal mini boss. And before the second crematorial guard spawns. Kind of.
Victory! The Maelstrom Arena. There's nothing like it in all Oblivion.
So finally you did it, stage 9 done, you did the Maelstrom Arena, and you finally can collect your well-fitted loot probably, and you can do it again because you want the Maelstrom weapon, right? Not some shitty well-fitted loot. Anyway, I know I talked a lot, but it really needs, like, if you want to understand all the mechanics, you really want to know all the details. Still, I'm only talking here, and in the end it's you that has to get through the arena, and you really need high precision and really good movement, combat awareness to get through this arena. It's not easy, it's really hard. Anyway, if you like the videos, don't forget to subscribe. Okay guys, have some more fun and see you soon. Bye.